Hello, fifth graders. This is Eureka Math, and we are still practicing some fourth grade skills. So this is fourth grade, Module 7, Lesson 16, and we're just reviewing some things before we dig into Module 1 for first grade. For fifth grade. So, Lesson 16. Our objective today is to create and determine the area of composite figures. Okay, so create, you guys get to be a little creative today. And determine just means find, right? Find the area of composite figures. So that just means drawings that maybe have things inside of them or are different shapes. Okay, so we're going to find the area of composite figures. So that could be something like this, or something like this, or something like that. Okay, so we're going to explore those. And remember, area equals length times width. Okay, length times width. Wonderful. Let's go to the problem set, and I'm going to go through this with you. Okay. It says work with your partner, but we're going to do this online first, or in the video first, and then in class, if we have a chance, you can get creative with a partner. Okay. Although we are maintaining our meters of separation rule, so we'll see how that goes tomorrow. Okay. Now, you should have a protractor, that was on the class list, and a ruler. Okay, a protractor looks like this, right? And it has numbers that go all the way around. And a ruler, of course, you know what a ruler is, looks like this. Okay, and that should probably be in inches on one side and centimeters on the other. Okay, and these are degrees, so that would be 90 degrees. And 45 degrees and 180 degrees. Okay, so you should have a protractor and a ruler. If you don't have one, please find one or ask your parent to bring one to school. Okay, and we're going to create a floor plan. What is a floor plan? Okay, so when I was in fifth grade, I had a bedroom that looked like this. It was kind of long and skinny. And I had a bed that I always kind of kept up next to the wall. And I had a dresser that fit into the corner that my dad built me. It was kind of cool. It was like a bookshelf. And then I had a dresser, and then I had a desk, and the door was right here, so I couldn't put anything there, okay? So if this is my bed, and this is my desk, and this is the shelf, and this is my dresser, right? We call this whole thing a floor plan, okay? It's called a floor plan. So, a floor plan. We're going to make some different floor plans today. And then I think in class I'm going to have you make a floor plan of your bedroom. So think about that when you get home, okay? And we're going to make everything a rectangle. So I'm going to pretend that shelf isn't there right now because we're not doing areas of rectangles, just areas of, triangles. We're just doing areas of rectangles. So a rectangle has to have two sets of parallel lines and 4 right angles. So that means that every rectangle has to have 2 sets of parallel lines. So this one and this one are the same, and this one and this one are the same. And then it has to have 4 right angles, and I indicate right angle by making a little square. Okay, right angles. And remember, right angles all have 90 degrees. This is why you're going to need your protractor. Okay, so protractor and ruler to create a floor plan. Be sure each rectangle you create has 2 sets of parallel lines and 4 right angles. That is the definition of a rectangle. Great. Then you're going to label each part of your model with your correct measurements. Okay, so we're going to practice with Samantha's dollhouse. It's a rectangle, okay, that is Now you are going to be using a beautiful ruler and you're going to have perfectly straight edges. I am working on a computer, so my edges aren't always the most perfect, but I try my hardest. Okay, and you're going to measure that 26 centimeters long. And we're going to use a big piece of paper for this, okay? And 15 centimeters wide. Okay. It has a rectangular bed, so I'm going to underline everything it has. It has a rectangular bed. It has 2 dressers. Okay, so we're going to have 3 pieces of furniture in this room. The first one is the bed, 9 centimeters long and 6 centimeters wide. Now this seems a little small, but remember it's for a doll, for a muñeca, right? So I'm going to put the bed right here. All right, so that's 6 centimeters by 9 centimeters. And then it has 2 dressers, but they're not the same size, okay? They're both 2 centimeters wide, but one measures 7 centimeters long. So I'm going to make that one here. 7 centimeters, but it's 2 centimeters wide. I already know that. And the other one is 4 centimeters long. Okay, so I'm going to put that one here. And 2 centimeters wide. You have to read carefully here, don't you? Okay. Now, find the area of the open floor space in the room. I'm going to just color in that open floor space so that you can see what we're talking about. We need to find the area of everything that's not covered by furniture. So, how are we going to do that? First of all, we can find the area of the whole big square, right? The whole big rectangle. And the area of that whole thing would be, I'm going to switch colors here again. Area of the giant rectangle is going to be 26 times 15. That's length times width, okay? And 26 times 15, I'm going to use a little scratch space up here. 26 times 15. Okay, so I'm going to write that one on top of each other, just in case you need a little refresher with 2-digit numbers for multiplication. 5 times 6 is 30. So I'm going to put the 0 there and 3 here. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 1 is 13. Then I'm going to drop a 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. So my answer is 390. Okay, so this whole thing, this whole big rectangle is 390 centimeters squared. Do not forget your label. Okay, now I know the whole space, but I'm going to have to subtract some things, aren't I? I'm going to have to subtract this and this and this to find out the area that's left behind. So I'm just going to go ahead and write those 3 problems down. Let's just ignore this problem for right now. I'll come back to it, okay? So the area of the bed is 9 times 6. The area of the dresser is 7 times 2, and the area of the other dresser is 4 times 2. So 9 times 6 equals 54. That's your basic math facts. You should know that. 7 times 2 is 14, and 4 times 2 is 8. If you don't remember those things, let's get you working on some math facts practice, okay? So 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 4 is 16. Carry the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so 76 centimeters squared. Okay, now I know how much space the furniture is using, and I know how much space the whole thing is. So to find the leftover, to find the yellow parts, I need to subtract that, don't I? So I'm going to take my 390 390 centimeters squared, and I'm going to subtract my 76 centimeters squared, and that's going to give me the leftover. How much is left over? So I need an extra digit here because I cannot subtract 6 from 0, so I'm going to borrow from there. Borrow from there 9 and put 1 over here. So 10 minus 6 is 4. 8 minus 7 is 1. And 3 minus 0 is 3. So the total area underneath, not including the furniture, is 314 centimeters squared. Okay, so find the area of the open floor space in the bedroom after the furniture is in place, and we just did. So now we know how much room we have. If later we want to go back and buy a lamp or buy a desk, we're going to know what can fit in there, what we have space for. All right, and that's how professional movers do it and professional decorators. So if you like organizing and reorganizing your bedroom, maybe you want to consider making a floor plan. Okay, number 2. And I'm sorry, I'm going to erase all this because I just made a big mess in all of my workspace. So I'm going to erase all of that. I hope that you got everything you needed. You can always rewind the video if you didn't. And number 2 is the only one we're doing today. Just 2 problems because we're practicing a lot of things here. We're practicing multiplication, we're practicing addition, we're practicing subtraction, and some critical thinking skills. So let's do the next one. A model of a rectangular pool, a swimming pool, is 15 centimeters long and 10 centimeters wide. So it's a model, right? It's not an actual pool because it would only be this big. So we're making a model of a pool. Maybe you're a contractor and you want to build a pool for somebody, so you want to show them what it's going to look like. Okay, so 10 centimeters wide and 15 centimeters long. Okay, please use a ruler so that your edges are nice and sharp. Oops, sorry, that's wide, right? 10 centimeters wide and 15 centimeters long. Okay. The walkway around the pool is 5 centimeters wider than the pool on each of the 4 sides. Okay, so if it's, I'm going to switch one more time to this color. If it's 5 centimeters wider, that means that it goes out 5 centimeters to here, out 5 centimeters to here, out 5 centimeters to here, and out 5 centimeters to here. Can you hear my Wisconsin accent when I say out, out? That's how people from Wisconsin talk. Okay, all the way across, right? And then down, and then over. Use your ruler so it's nice and neat. Thank you. Okay, so there's my walkway all the way around the pool, right? I don't want to put plants there because the dirt's going to get in the pool, and I probably want to put a non-stick surface so if you're running around the pool you don't crash and hit your head and fall in. Okay, so 5 centimeters wider than the pool on each of the 4 sides. In one section of the walkway there's a flower bed that is 3 centimeters by 5 centimeters. Oh, okay. So I'm going to use green because it's a flower bed and plants are green usually. So I'm going to put that flower bed over here. And it said 3 centimeters by 5 centimeters. So I'm going to go 5 centimeters this way and 3 centimeters that way. I'm just going to make my flower bed right there, 5 centimeters and 3 centimeters. And you can be creative with yours if you want to put it in somewhere else. All right. Okay. Create a diagram of the pool area with the surrounding walkway and flower bed. Okay, I just did. Find the area of the open walkway around the pool. Okay, the open walkway around the pool. Now be careful, they're not including the pool and they're not including the flower bed. So what we need to do is we need to find the area of this whole big space. And then just like up here, we're going to subtract the pool and the flower bed. So let's start with finding the whole big area. First of all, what's the width here? Well, I know from here to here is 15. But I have, right, that's 15. If this is 15, this is 15. But I went an extra 5 on that side and an extra 5 on this side. So the whole thing, 15 plus 5 is what? What is the length of that whole area? That is 25. So my length equals 25. Okay, now I know that this over here is 10, and this over here is 10, right? So this section is 10, but then I added another 5 on there and another 5 there. So, right, do you see that little space there? 5 plus 10 plus 5 equals 20, so my width is 20. Okay, so now I can find the area of the whole thing. Area equals length times width. And I'm going to use my little workspace up here. 0 times 5 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. Then drop a 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. And my answer is 500 centimeters squared. This whole thing is 500 centimeters squared, but what have I forgotten to do? First, I need to subtract the pool, okay? And I know the pool is 15 times 10, so area equals 15 times 10, which equals 150, right? Because 15 times 1 would be 15, add a 0, is 150. So that's centimeters squared. Okay, we're going to be talking about the powers of 10 this next week, just in case that isn't really obvious to you. And so then I'm going to subtract the pool from my 150 over here. And I'm going to come back with 350. Okay, not 450. Be careful. I borrowed here, right? Okay, then I want to subtract the garden. So the garden, the area or the flowers, is 5 times 3. So that equals 15 centimeters squared. So I'm going to subtract that as well. Okay. And I'm going to get, okay, I'm going to borrow 5, 3, 3. 335 centimeters squared is the area of just the sidewalk, not the pool or the flower bed. Okay, so we're going to practice in class, and I have your lesson 16 homework, which I will give you in class, and maybe we'll actually do a drawing of your bedroom, because you know your bedroom better than anyone, right? And we'll take measurements of your bed and measurements of your desk and measurements of your dresser, and if you have a bookshelf, and we can just figure it out. We'll just do measurements of the rectangular things. So if you have like a giant round squishy chair or something, we won't count that, okay? All right, great job. Have a great day. I'm so happy to have you in my class.